And here we go. There's Haley. You often do as well. All right, so we're going to start with a quick review. I'm going to do things a little different today. I'm going to let you just start working on these. So go ahead and write in your math spiral. I didn't give too many. There's only 6 problems. You have 1 addition, 1 subtraction, 1 question about polygons, a division, a multiplication, and a rounding. So go ahead and get started. See how many of those you can get done, and then we're going to share our answers. On your marks, get set, go. Let's review. Okay, I can open it. I can open the window. You get started in your mouth. All right, everybody's working on their review problems. Josh, we're using our inside, our head voice, not our outside of our head voice. Oh, we have nothing done yet. Mr. Benji at all? No. Okay. 3 of you together is not a good combo. I need one of you to decide to move the other side. I move. Thank you. Well, it's in Danny, but I didn't even have a trick to take. But I haven't gone back to see it. It's changed. Okay, just one. Thank you. Appreciate the offer. Okay. Even if you're not done, don't worry. We're going to just get started. I'm going to pull out of the handy dandy can. Evie, can you walk me through 239 plus 421? What would I do here?
9 plus 10 equals 10. 4 is a 1. And then,
okay, hold that thought. I'm just going to plug this back in because it's not seeming to work for me. Missing something here. Oh, I think because anytime I use my smartboard for a lesson. Hold on, guys, my smartboard. I'm gonna exit out real quick. Yeah, it's not on. Okay, let me see if it works now. Yay, okay, good. All right, Abby, 9 plus 1 is?
10. If I zero down, carry the 1. And then 6 plus 2 equals 5. And then add the 1 that would make 6. And then 4 plus 2 equals 6.
All right, give me a thumbs up if you agree with Evie. Hey, I did the next one just to make sure you understand this. Finn, walk me through it. 36 minus 23.
So, 6 minus 3 equals 3.
Okay.
Then 2 minus 3 equals 1.
You mean 3 minus 2?
Yeah.
Okay, what if I had 36 minus 28? Then what I would have to do? What would I have to do, Finn?
Wait, what was the question?
What if it was 36 minus 28 instead of 23? What would I have to do then?
You would have to take 1 from the 3, for those are 2, and then 6, and then add the 1, 6, 7.
16 minus 8 is 8, and 2 minus 2 is 0. My point in saying that is be careful. The number on top is greater than the number below. Yes, you can subtract without borrowing. But if the number on top is less than the number below, you have to borrow a 10. Okay? All right, I have 6 sides and 6 angles. I am not a parallelogram or a quadrilateral, but I am a polygon. What am I? How about, no. Hey. What am I? 6 sides, 6 angles, polygon. We saw some Powtoons that talked about it. Help her out, Elena. Penta's 5. Ellie? Should have gotten hexagon. How'd you do, Astria? Did you get that? Hexagon. All right, Leo, 54 divided by 9. What does it equal and how do you know?
54 divided by 9 is 6.
How do you know?
I know because
6 times 9 is what? 54. If we know 6 times 9 is 54, then it's 54 divided by 9 is 6. It's the inverse. Did anyone use the 9's trick backwards? Give me a show of hands. Who did that? If you did not do that and you're still wondering, like, how did they know 54 divided by 9 is 6? Make 54, right? 5 and 4. Which finger did I put down? My 6. That works with 9s all the time. All right, 6 times 6 is, everybody. 6 times 6 is 36. Round 387 to the nearest 10 and 100. Okay, so if I'm looking for the nearest 10, I got to look at the 7 in the ones place. Bird, 387, is that going to be closer to 380 or 390? If it's 5 and above, give it a shove. 4 and below, take it down. Below. It's a 7. Which way do we go? Up or down? 5, is it above 5? 7 is, right? So you're going to go up. So is it going to go to 380 or 390? 390. Okay, now we got to look at the 8. 5 and above, give it a shot. Are we going to go to 300 or 400? Cooper? 300. No? 8. It's an 8. 5 and above, give it a... So which way does it have to go? So up to 400. All right, good for you. We are going to... Hold on, I got some crazy things with my Zoom. Got some people wanting to get in, huh? That's okay. I can move these. I might be able to. Looks like I've got everybody. Okay, Lyric and Charlie's being Rickley. All right. I appreciate your patience and your voices off so that we can stay focused. Thank you. All right, here we go. We are starting a new unit today. and it is fractions. So our learning target is to understand fractions. We want to develop a conceptual understanding of unit fractions and how they're used to build other fractions so we can solve world math problems that involve fractions. Here's what your success criteria is. Understand unit fractions as equal parts of a whole. Use fraction bars to represent unit fractions as the elements for building other fractions. So we have some vocabulary today. A fraction is a number that names a part of a whole or part of a set. How many of you think you know or have some schema about fractions already? Excellent. Unit fractions are fractions whose numerator is 1. The numerator is the top number in a fraction that shows the number of equal parts counted. For example, can I pull that, Eddie? If I had, think about like a pizza, right? And I divided my pizza into fourths. Eyes up here, please, Sawyer. If I were to say I had one piece of that pizza, I would say I had 1 out of 4, right? 1/4 of that pizza, Sawyer? Robert, look up here. This is a unit fraction because the numerator or the top number is a 1. That's what makes it a unit fraction. It's 1 part of a whole. Now, the way I can remember the top number is called the numerator is because the bottom number is called the denominator. And you might say, well, how does that help you? D stands for down. Say that. D, down. So the number that's down on the bottom is your denominator. So that means numerator, and nu has a U in there for up, is the upper number. The numerator is telling you the number of equal parts counted or shaded, and the denominator is telling you the number of equal parts in the whole pizza. Where else besides pizza do we use fractions, Lennox, in the real world?
Pie and folding.
And where?
And folding shapes.
Folding shapes and in pies. Where else? Yeah.
In music when we were learning about the 6th note.
So in music we use fractions. That's pretty amazing, huh? How about, have you ever shared food with somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? You want to divide things up equally? Remember that word equally, fair shares. Because I know third graders, I know kids, we want things to be fair, right? And that's the same with fractions. They need to be fair in order to work. All right, so we've also used fractions with measuring. Do you guys remember that when we were measuring with our inch ruler? And we measured to the 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. All right. We're gonna just build our schema a little bit more, so just enjoy.
Uh-oh.
Whoopsie. Sorry, there we go.
Hey guys, welcome to the Red Planet. I am here hitching a ride headed towards my spaceship to take me home. The only problem I have is that I need fraction power, and we are low. You see, my spaceship runs on fraction power, and in order to get the batteries full, I need to put in the right fractions to recharge the batteries. Let's charge the batteries with the fractions I have collected, and then I can go home. Here we are at the charging station. The first thing we need to do is review what is a fraction. You may remember from my other videos, but just in case you forgot, here we go. A fraction represents an equal part of a whole. Here we see 2 circles, but only one circle represents a fraction. Can you guess which one?
Red.
If you guessed the red circle on the left, you are right. To be a fraction, you must have all equal parts. The blue circle on the right is not divided equally, so it cannot be a fraction.
You guys would not be happy if that
We
was
also
the part
need
of the
to
cookie
review
you
how a
got.
fraction is written. The fraction we see is 1/3, or 1/3. The top number is called the numerator, and the bottom number is called the denominator.
D for
The
down.
numerator is a part of the whole circle. The numerator is 1 because there is one yellow part of the whole circle. The denominator is the number on the bottom that shows all the parts in the entire circle. Because the entire circle is made of 3 parts, the denominator is 3. This fraction is 1/3, also called 1/3. Now that we have this out of the way, let's move on to recharge my spaceship. My batteries only take this type of fraction. This is what we call a unit fraction. Any fraction where the top number is 1 is called a unit fraction. In a unit fraction, it doesn't matter what number is the denominator. This is why we have the letter B here. The letter B can represent any number. All this is saying is 1 over any number represented by the letter B. So it could be 1/2, 1/3, 1/4. Well, you get the idea. Here is a rectangle that is divided into 4 parts. Can you tell me what the fraction is for just this part here?
What do you think?
This is 1/4, or 1/4. We can see that each of these parts is 1/4 of the entire rectangle. When you put it all together, they make one whole rectangle. The battery only gets charged when taking one part of the whole, or in this case, 1/4. Let's get another fraction. Here is a rectangle with 5 equal parts. To write the fraction, let's start with the denominator. What number should the denominator be?
Say it. Awesome.
The denominator is 5 because there are a total of 5 parts of the whole. All
Good
5
job.
pieces together make one whole. Remember that my batteries get charged with unit fractions, which are just one part of the whole. So we have 1/5, or 1/5. Let's put this fraction in the charger and try another one. Here we have 2 circles. Let's see how many parts we have in each circle. On the left, the circle has how many equal parts?
6.
There are 6 equal parts to this circle. So the fraction we want is just one part of the 6 pieces. This fraction is 1/6, also called 1/6. Now let's look at the circle on the right. What is the fraction for just one piece of this circle?
1/2.
The fraction is 1/2, also called 1/2. The part we need is 1/2 of the entire circle. Great job, guys. I am on my way home now. But wait, I noticed something. On the left, we have 1/6, and on the right, we have 1/2, but they are definitely different in size. It looks like you get more with 1/2 than 1/6. This is good to know. As the denominator, or number on the bottom, gets bigger, the actual piece itself gets smaller. It is like sharing a pizza. When you eat it with one friend, you both get more than if you share it with 6 friends. Awesome job. My spaceship is now fully
Sorry.
charged.
Sorry.
Thanks for helping me charge the batteries with unit fractions. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Okay. So we are going to first tell me, before you get onto your workbook, what is a unit fraction? What makes it different than just any fraction? Sunny? It's only one part of it. That means the numerator is always 1 when it's a unit fraction. 1/10, 1/8, 1/8, 1/10, 1/6. But it's always just 1. That's what our learning target is today. We'll look at other fractions as we move on. All right, so let's go ahead, and we're going to need scissors. Remember, friends at home, I told you to grab some scissors. Here's what I want you to do. Listen first before you do anything, because it's a little bit different than what you would think. We are going to cut out the bottom rectangle first. So you would think we would do the top one, but no, we're going to do the bottom one. So
Let me rip it out.
you can rip it out of your book to make it easier. It's page 349A. And you know what? Since you have scissors, instead of ripping it out, you could also cut it out if you needed to, so that you don't rip your actual rectangles. So you are going to cut along the dotted line. I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute so you guys can see. And let's see if, no. If you can see me, let me go ahead and I'll do it under the document camera. That might be easier for you. So you're looking at page 349A. And once you get that out, you want to cut the bottom rectangle out. So the way I've done here, see how I've cut this out? Once you cut this part out, and I'm going to ask for whole body listening third graders. If you can hear my voice, say fractions. There we go. We're going to cut these into 4 rectangles like so. And do your best. Don't panic if it's not perfect. All right. Show me, friends at home, if you need 1 more minute or 0. How did you do? Gavin, can you show me your rectangles? Where are they, bud? You're not on securely, are you?
I'm not, but I can.
You might need to
Okay.
check, my friend.
I might be better. Oh, all right. I will go grab my iPad.
I just have one person not.
Gotcha. I will check on
Haley, good job. Charlie Van Rickley, good job. Oh, Charlie, yes, we are going to share yours. You weren't here when I started, so I just started teaching, but hopefully you can stay on and we can make sure we see your Powtoon. All right. So, Beth, are you there? Will you be able to hang on till 3:15? Is that okay? And then we'll make sure we do the Powtoon. Don't let me forget. You can unmute and say, Mrs. Alvin, Powtoon. Okay, because I get going. All right, Lyric, how are you doing, my dear? Doing okay?
Not so great. I've only cut the outline.
That's okay. That's now all you got to do is do 2 more cuts, okay, sweetie? That's it. Those are the
Okay.
only. Okay, I know I sent you with scissors. Get those scissors. Good. Yep, you got it, Lyric. Stay focused. All right. So I think most of us are ready. Now what we are going to do is we are going to look at page 349. I'm going to write it real big up here, 349. This is what page we're going to look at.
I accidentally ripped it.
That's okay. You can pull it all the way out and still use it. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to we're going to use those 4 rectangles from 349A to make a whole shape. We're going to cover this rectangle. So however you think you can, go ahead and start figuring out how can you use these rectangles to cover this rectangle. See how you can do it. There may be more than one way. Some people found 2 ways of doing it. Move this out of the way. All right, I see 3 ways so far. I see. Oh, I've seen all kinds of different ways of covering our shape. Now, once you've done it one way, see if you can figure out another way of covering it.
Found 4. Yep, found 4.
Found another way?
Found 4.
4 ways. We've got 4 ways of covering it so far. So keep trying. Once you've got it covered, try again.
I found another way.
That, yeah, you found 5.
I found 5. I found 4. I found 5. I don't.
All righty. Some people found 3, some people found 4. Show me on your fingers how many different ways you found to cover it. Haley Calendar found 3. Finn's found 5. Looks like, oh my goodness, Max Diesberg found 6. Lyric found 2. Charlie Van Rickley found 4. Oh my gosh. Okay, Ben, how'd you do? Astrid got 2, 4. How about you, Gavin? All right. So let's just say, did anyone find this way? The vertical way, kind of like some stripes? Give me a thumbs up if you found that way. Yeah. Then did anyone try this? Yeah? Okay, did anybody cover it like this? Another way? Did anybody cover it like this? So whatever ways you found to cover it, that you can answer these questions no matter how you have it covered. Here's what I want you to tell me. How many what is the number of equal parts that we have? 4, right? So we're going to write 4. What would one of these, let's say the yellow, what would the yellow rectangle be considered out of the whole thing? Evie, what do you think? 1/4, 1 out of 4, 1/4. That is a unit fraction because we're talking about just one of them. Go ahead and practice writing that. Can you write that in your book? Do you have your book? Oh, okay, can you guys write that? 1/4, I've got 4 here and write 1/4 here. So you're writing that just like I did. I want you to get in the habit of writing a fraction. Many people say to me, many 3rd graders in the beginning of our unit, I don't know how to write a fraction. Some of you said that when we were doing measuring. You can do it. One number on top, that numerator. And then you're going to have your division sign, because really that's a division symbol. And then your denominator. All right, once you've done that, let's look at number 2. Go ahead and use your rectangle. See how many you can get to cover this one. Go for it. See how many you can get and how many different ways you can cover it. You may not use all of them, and that's okay. Don't panic if you don't use all of the rectangles. Hey, start covering.
I can make it.
All right, Josh Carter, what did you want to share? I see you have your hand up. How many did you get? Did anyone get more than 3 ways? No, some, 2. Okay, show me at home. How many ways did you get to cover it? Astrid got 4, so did Charlie. Haley got 3. 1, Gavin. I bet you could find another, Gavin. All right, so did anyone do it this way? Give me a thumbs up if you tried going vertically. Your first one? Okay, and then did anyone try this way? All right, got some thumbs up on that one. Gavin got that. What about this way? All right, however you did it, again, we can answer these two questions. Go ahead and fill out what you think the total number of equal parts is. Finn, on your mark, get set, write it down. How many equal parts do we have in this shape? Whatever you have, what do you think? What did you get, Finn? 3. If I said what fraction of the whole is the blue rectangle, what would it be? 1 out of 3, or what do we say? 1/3. 1/3. Our numerator is 1. Denominator is 3. That is a unit fraction because it's only one of the whole, one part of a whole. All right, let's move on to the last one. Go ahead and cover the last rectangle. I don't think you're going to take very long. On your marks, get set, go. Hey, Ben, how many rectangles do I need to cover the last one? Let's hear what Ben has to say. Ben says 2. Okay, so you can choose which colors and which order, but you should have gotten 2 equal parts. Charlie, can you show me that you're writing this and you're doing this work with me? Max, you got it? So what fraction, Gabe Levine, would the blue rectangle in my example be out of the whole? What fraction would it be? 1 out of 2. What do we call that? 1 what? If I had to say that's a candy bar and I split it, and you'd get half and I'd get half. So we say 1/2. All right, so now we're going to take page 300. Go ahead and put that aside. Next, we're going to take the top rectangle and cut it out along the dotted lines. Be careful because now you're going to have triangles. All right, so page 349A, the top part, we're going to cut out that big rectangle first, then cut along the dotted lines. Yeah, because he's not doing a thing. Oh, he's got it now. What do we need? How come he oh, because Josh isn't here. Yeah. Thank you for doing that. Maybe we'll learn something. Okay, see what I'm doing? They're turning out, you should have 2 triangles from each rectangle. This is a great way to review our polygons from our last unit. Because Ben taught us all about triangles in his Powtoon, didn't you, Ben? Okay, so we have 2 yellow, 2 blue, 2 green, 2 red. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes to finish that. Doesn't have to be perfect. You got this. Okay. Next thing we're going to do, we are going to turn to page 350. You're going to need your triangle, so don't lose them. I'm going to write it nice and big here. Page 350. And what you're going to do is make the shape that you see in your workbook. So your goal is to recreate it using your shapes. So it's kind of tricky. It's like a puzzle. Mrs. Harrison and I love puzzles. So you got to find which shape will work. And this one's, oh, I don't know if I can do it. Of course. I love when things don't work out. You might have to. You're going to have to flip that orange one. So guys, they make mistakes. And sometimes we just have to go with it, right? You had to flip it to make that one work. So we're going to recreate. Did I do something wrong?
Tell your friends at home they're not to be doing things central right now. They're supposed to be following along with you.
Is there?
Two friends doing things central.
Okay, so Mrs. Harrison just informed me that 2 of you are working on Think Central, and that is not what you're supposed to be doing. I don't think you're going to learn the concepts very well if you're.
I keep closing them.
And Mrs. Harrison keeps closing your assignment. We can see we see your screen, right? We know what you're doing and we can shut it down. So Mrs. Harrison has shut it down twice and she's asking you to please stop doing Think Central and please do this math lesson with us.
Thank you.
And she thanks you. Yeah. Okay, once you make that shape, which is really tricky because they didn't do them right, you have to flip it. Oh, well, no. Well, you're doing it with different colors. I was trying to do it with the. Well, no, you're supposed to do it with yellow and red. You're supposed to recreate the same thing. Yours is not. Oh, good for you. Okay. So here we go. How many equal parts are in this whole shape? Microphone answer. 4. The blue triangle is what fraction of the whole shape? 1/4. That is a unit fraction, right? Because of that 1, it's only 1 out of 4. All right, try making number 5. I think we can all do that one. If you have, here's what I'm going to let you guys do because I can tell we're all in different places. If you don't have any questions, I want you to just go ahead, work on you at your own pace, and try to create these shapes that you see for each problem and then answer the questions. There are blank equal parts in the whole shape. The blue triangle is blank of the whole. What fraction of it is that? But I want you to see, do the puzzle. It's good for your brain. It challenges your brain. Yes, it's good for Mrs. Aubin as well, to challenge ourselves. All right, so you see how I'm manipulating my triangles to try to make the same design that is on the page. And then you can work through these, see how many you get done. I'm just going to give you a few minutes and we'll see how many you can do. Any questions? Anybody at home have questions? I'm looking through my group. All right, working hard. Yes, you're recreating those designs and then answering the questions. Wow, you guys are working hard. You're so much better at this than I am. I can tell my visual learners who you are. Don't give up. Yeah. Okay, if you did not finish, it's okay. That was more exploration and thinking. Give me a fist of 5, how you feel you did. Fist of 5, fist being, that was hard, Mrs. Aubin. 5 being, that was cool, I got it. Maybe a 3. If you're not a visual learner, that could have been tough, right? All right, so let's check our work. If you didn't get these written, you can do it with me, Serene. Get your pencil in your hand. On your marks, get set, pencils in hand. How many equal parts? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 equal parts. What would just this blue part be, Charlie Carr? what fraction of it would it be? 1/6. Excellent. I saw some people wrote 1/4, but it can't be 1/4 if there's 6 equal parts. All right, look at number 6. There are blank equal parts in the whole shape. Lucas, how many? 3. 1, 2, 3. The blue triangle is what fraction of the whole? 1/3. All right, number 7, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal parts. What is the blue triangle? Sunny Poe? 1/5. And last but not least, Abby Arnold, how many equal parts in number 8? 8 in number 8, that works out. And what would one blue triangle be? What fraction of the whole? 1/8. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Nicely done. All right, so I'm gonna just kind of switch gears. I know I got away from my lesson. How many of you have ever seen anything like this before? So sometimes we see fractions in circles, like I did with the pizza. We talked about, Lennox mentioned pie being cut into fractions, but sometimes we see fractions. Evie, come here, come here. Sometimes we see fractions in bars. What you mean? So think about Kit Kats. I love Kit Kats. They're so good. Oh my goodness. So if I were sharing my Kit Kat, I could divide it into equal shares, right? To share with my friends. So thinking about fraction bars, think of a candy bar. Think of a strip. Sometimes we're going to be dividing across a number line, like when we were measuring, right? So we won't always see fractions, Abby, in circles. Not always. Sometimes it's going to be in a bar. Yes, Serne. So Serne is just reminding me that on our name tags in Mrs. Harrison's room, we have something similar to this. So excellent. And that'll be a great tool. What do you notice about this? You guys don't have this in front of you, but what do you notice about these fraction bars? Josh, what do you notice? Okay, so the two at the top are 1/2 and 1/2, which would make the whole. Then it goes down to 1/3, 1/4, 1/5. It just keeps going as you go. What do you notice about the denominator or the down number? What do you notice, Max Deesberg? It does. It gets higher. But Max Fox, what happens to the pieces? They get shorter or smaller as the denominator gets bigger. That's because you're sharing that Kit Kat with more people, right, August? Let's put those down. So, but there is something interesting about this diagram. What do you notice about the numerator, Marin? What do you notice about the numerator on all of these fractions? Let's look at, remember, numerator's the top number. They're all ones, which make these all what kinds of fractions? They're all unit fractions. Okay, we are going to now look at page 351. Page 351. I just kind of went over how fractions can be represented in a bar. The denominator tells how many equal parts the whole is divided into, and the numerator tells how many equal parts you are talking about. So looking at this example, I'm thinking of my Kit Kat bar. There's the whole Kit Kat bar, and I'm going to share it with August and Finn. Oh, sorry, Mrs. Harrison. So here's my fair share. August gets that one, and Finn gets that one. So we have how many equal parts? 3, because there's 3 of us. I'm only getting one of those. So my fraction is 1/3. That's that shaded part. We already talked about a unit fraction having a numerator of 1, and the rest of the fraction at the right these all represent unit fractions. So we have 1 whole. What we're going to do is shade our fraction bars at the right to represent these units. Ready? Here's 1 whole. That's already done for us. Here's 1/2. Go ahead and shade with your pencil 1/3, just 1/3 of this Kit Kat bar. Pretend you get that 1/3. You get to eat it up. Okay, Finn, shade it. Show me that you're shading it. Everybody's doing this with me. You only, well, if you want to, let's go ahead and do one more together and I'll let you do the rest. So all of these are divided into equal parts. Again, they get smaller and smaller because we're sharing with more and more people. Now we're going to just get 1/4 because now we're sharing our Kit Kat, not only with Mrs. Aubin, Finn, and August, but now we're going to share with Evie too. So now I only get 1/4. And then Haley Booker comes along and she wants part of our Kit Kat. Now I only get 1/5. Oh, and then Ellie joins us. Now I only get 1/6. Haley Calendar joins us. I only get 1/7 of my Kit Kat bar. Boy, it's hard being kind and sharing, isn't it? And then Leo comes. Now I only get 1/8. So the more people that I have to share my Kit Kat bar with, the less I'm going to get. But that numerator stays the same. I'm still going to get 1 out of the whole. I only get 1 part of the whole. My denominator gets greater. I get less. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you have shaded those unit fractions. Gotten them shaded? Looking good, Charlie? How are you doing? Haley's showing me good job, Mr. Van Rickley. So good to see you here. Ben looks great. Thank you for sharing. Astria's ready. Gavin's sharing. Thank you, guys. All right, let's go ahead and turn it over to page 352. I'll write it real big for you. Page 352. And then we're going to wrap things up here soon. So one of our success criteria was to show how unit fractions build to make a whole. So it says to shade the correct number of parts, then show each shaded fraction as a sum of unit fractions. Sum is the answer to an addition problem, right? That's what a sum is. Just like product is the answer to multiplication, quotient is the answer to division problems. So here's our example, Cooper. Do you see it? They divided the whole into 5 equal parts. Then you were to shade 2 parts. The whole is 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 equals a whole. Really, if you count and add the numerator 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this whole thing would equal 5/5, which is really the same as 1 whole because 5 divided by 5 is 1. So that's what we're trying to show here. So let's do number 10 together. How many parts do we have, Miss Lila Fitz? 3, right? So each part is 1/3. So let's go ahead and write 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. That would equal 3/3 or 1 whole, but we don't have to actually write that. But now it's asking me over here to shade 2 of those parts. So here's 1 I'm shading. 2, I want to find out how much I shaded. Well, if I have 1/3 plus another 1/3, how many thirds did I shade? Lucas, how many thirds did I shade? So now look, I have 2 thirds. This is important stuff, guys. So I'm going to give you a minute to do that. And if you think you know what we're doing, you can move on, but I will just check. I'm going to do a quick check. See how everybody's doing. Lucas got it. Madison seems to be getting it. So it doesn't equal 2. It equals 2 thirds. Remember, this doesn't equal, that's not right. Look at what I did. That's 1 third. If you guys aren't copying this, you should be, right? Because that's how you're going to get your model, your example to do it correctly. So we're just adding up our unit fractions to get the sum. You're going on. All right, let's try the next one together. I think we still need some clarification.
Yep, because some of them are trying to go to the next one.
And they're not getting it.
They're coloring in the wrong amount.
Okay, so let's do this one together, number 11. Here we go. This one's already divided for us into 7 equal parts. So I already know my denominator is 7. So watch and do this with me. There's 1/7, right? There's my first one. Here's my second one, plus 1/7, plus 1/7, plus 1/7. How many sevenths do I have to do? 7. Plus 1/7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 1/7, plus 1/7. I need 7 1/7. So let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But now I have to look at the next part. It says shade 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5. So how do I show that as a sum of unit fractions? Watch. Now this part, this is 1/7 plus 1/7 plus 1/7 plus 1/7 plus 1/7 equals 5/7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's only going to have 5 out of 7 because that's how many I shaded. Okay? All right. We are actually going to stop with that today. We'll do more of these tomorrow because I think they're kind of tricky and my time is running short. But I have a couple things we have to do. We did that. Hold that thought. All right, so here's what I'd like you to do, but once you submit your exit ticket, don't go anywhere because then we're gonna do Charlie's Powtoon. But here's what your exit ticket for today is. Explain in words what a unit fraction is. Now, if you are remote on your assignment, under lesson 7.1 for Monday, you will see your exit ticket. It's on a Google Doc. You are going to click on your Google Doc and you will go ahead and answer, well, explain what a unit fraction is in your own words, and then make sure you turn in. You are not sharing it, you turn it in. You guys should be pros at this by now. So I'm going to pass those out and you guys can get started, and then we will get to see an awesome Powtoon from Mr. Van Rickley.
What do I do with these?
Just do your exit ticket first and then we'll deal with that.
Right now, focus on the exit ticket.
Serena, you ready? Here you go, Eddie. Max Housford. If you have time, you could, Max, but Bird, right now. Thank you.
Remember, if you can use your good vocabulary that she gave you, try to use as much of your math vocabulary as you can.
And you can look in your book for spelling and some of that vocabulary.
If you're not sure, think about, draw a picture of it, but don't focus on the picture. But you can use the picture to help explain.
And also, don't forget that I have to read this, right? You're communicating your thoughts.
Fast handwriting.
And capitals and punctuation, so I can read it.
We can't tell what you're writing. We can't explain what area and cursor. That would be You eat well. What makes the long E sound? Magic E. You're right. And it's right there. What is it you were throwing there? She's not asking what a fraction is, she's asking what a unit fraction is. That's slightly different than just a regular fraction. Can you think about what you're talking about? Poodle, I'm a poodle. Poodle fraction. Yes, okay. And are you thinking about how you grow a nice picture? Okay, I gotta find a fresh picture. That's Charlie. That's Charlie.
Guys, a lot of people are still working.
And how do you? They all look the same? Or you worked it out if you want?
They work.
They were just the same? If you get to a time when they're not, then you guys have to do that thing, right, where you discuss it until you figure out who's got the right.
Wait, guessing?
No, it's like.
You said discussing.
No, I didn't. Discussing.
So if you guys finish your exit ticket before we take Powtoon, you may recycle your shapes and your scraps. I would appreciate that if you could do that. And then Show me at home if you need 1 or 0 minutes. Okay, Astria, I see you. Is Charlie here still?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and, Charlie, can you unmute? So guys, we have not been dismissed, so sit down. We're gonna watch a Powtoon, okay? Charlie, if you can share, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna allow you to share, okay? And
Okay.
you could just play your Powtoon for us from your screen. You can hit preview, and then you can make it big by the 2. You know what you're doing. Okay.
Okay, you're looking for some good audience numbers.
Pentagons by Charlie Van Wickley. A pentagon is a polygon with 5 sides. Some real-world examples are house, home plate on a baseball field, school crossing signs. Non-examples of pentagons.
That was my Powtoon.
We give him a big hand. Wow, that was great. And we talked about pentagons and hexagons in our review, so I'm really happy you gave us some more schema about those. All right. Okay, everybody, show me on your thumb how you're feeling about fractions, and then, okay, feeling okay, getting there. We are just day 1. Don't be frustrated. We have many more days. And don't forget, we do have Think Central 7.1. I will see you guys mañana. Have a wonderful evening. You can stay on if you have a question. Otherwise, I will see you later. Recycle. We're going to recycle. Bye, everybody. Yes, Lyric.
I had to go to Google Docs